Attack on Titan is quite literally a titan within the anime community. Everyone has seen it, and if you haven't seen it, you at least know about it or heard about it. It's a series that has constantly evolved over the past decade and has stapled itself as a modern classic. From starting out as a survival show against giant zombie titan-looking things to a series about oppression and war, it's far grown past the initial feeling we all got from the first episode. It's been 4 months now since the Attack on Titan manga has ended, and I feel like now would be a good time to go over it all and see what went right and what didn't work out as well. Now, this video has probably already gotten dislikes just from me mentioning the ending. Chapter 139 has definitely been one of the most controversial endings to a series I've seen in a while. It's a 50-50 split. You either like it, or you can be an absolute gremlin and curse Isayama every day for their sheer life-ruining Attack on Titan. Seriously, it gets constantly slammed on whenever Attack on Titan is mentioned now, and kinda just become a meme at this point. The ending has been so hated that a group of people came together to create the Attack on Titan No Requiem. It's a project that has already started, and it plans to change the last 3 chapters into something that the creators feel what should have been. I'll probably make a video on this topic separately, however, I will say that the art and paneling is pretty good. If you're interested in giving it a read, the link is in the description below. Now then, what are my thoughts on the final chapters and the actual ending itself? Do I host seances and try to get my eternal revenge on Isayama? Well, no, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone should. Personally, I think the ending was good. There was some obvious issues I had with it that I'll get to a little later on in the video, but in general, it did its job. The ending was as emotional as expected and felt as if everything fit for the most part. And to preface something before I start really getting into it, I know, I'm sorry, but this needs to be said. No matter what the ending could have been, no matter how bad or good it had the potential to be, there's always going to be people shitting on it no matter what. Hajime Isayama created such a compelling story that was serialized for so long and touched so many people that no matter how he decided to end the series, it was always going to get a lot of backlash. When a series reaches popularity levels of Attack on Titan, not everyone will be satisfied with the outcome, and that's just life. Isayama did a fantastic job, and it warmed my heart to see the hashtag #ThankYouIsayama trending on April 9th when the manga ended. Whatever series Isayama decides to make next, I can't wait to see what he'll deliver, because I know it'll be another fucking banger. Anyways, let's start the review now. I'm gonna start this review from chapter 133, where the forces of Paradis and Marley are in the plane on course to stop Aron and the rumbling at Fort Salta. This is where I feel the prelude of the ending really started. I won't say much about chapter 133 to 138 since the only issues I have is with 139 itself, along with the extra pages from the final volume, but I think it's important to highlight some key moments leading up to Aron's confession. While talking to Jean, Reina poses an answer as to why Aron is ignoring them in their pursuit to stop him. At this point, Aron is effectively God. He has control over the Founder, can alter the memories and control the Titans and Eldians however he wants. But he refuses to control his friends and the warriors. If Aron truly wanted to flatten the world with no regard for anyone other than Eldia, he would force the warriors and scouts to stay at Paradis where it is safer and guaranteed survival from the rumbling. But why does he not stop the scouts from chasing him? Reina believes that Aron wants to be stopped. This causes everyone to stop and think about it, and they all kinda agree with him. Letting the scouts and warriors act freely when they're the only force in the world capable of stopping him at this point makes literally no sense. Reina understands this immense pain and burden that Aron is carrying. He's committed similar crimes as Aron and feels as if he is effectively the root cause of the rumbling. Reina states, "It has to be painful for him too. Slaughtering all of humanity isn't something you can just endure. If it was me, I'd probably want someone else to handle the power of the Founder by now, and if I couldn't, I'd want it to be stopped." People either thought nothing of this on the initial take, or just thought it was another random ass theory that Isayama is throwing at us to confuse us. However, everything Isayama does is meaningful and serious. Remember all the times when Isayama tried telling us something without directly saying it? Back in Season 1, a random abnormal Titan that we later knew to be Aron was attacking everything and killing the other Titans. When everyone else is in agreement to let the Titans kill Aron, Annie, Reina, and Bertolt are the only ones stating that they should try to help it and see if it's an ally or an enemy. During the female Titan arc, when Reina escaped from Annie's hand, there was literally Titan steam coming off his body and no one noticed or thought anything of it. The anime and Isayama do everything with the most detailed and importancy to the small things. You can never overlook the small things in Attack on Titan. If this dialogue between Ryan and the scouts meant nothing, Isayama simply wouldn't have included it. Isayama and most other mangakas and storytellers don't add scenes without purpose. Adding filler scenes bores the audience and it doesn't keep people interested to keep reading. Isayama tried to divert this whole interaction with Aron interrupting and communicating with everyone through the past, stating, "In order to gain my own freedom, I will take the freedom away from the world. I won't take anything away from any of you. You are all free. You have the freedom to defend the world's freedom, and I have the freedom to continue moving forward. So as long as we have our unbreakable conviction, we will collide." Now, this seems just as plausible as Ryan's theory on Aron, but why though? It's throughout the entirety of the final season up until chapter 139, there's been one crucial thing Isayama's been hiding from the viewers and the readers, and that's Aron. Yes, we see him, and we see him fight, and we see him talk to people, but we're never explained as to why he's doing the things he's doing. We see a little bit of his thoughts when he's in the past, stating Zeke's euthanization plan is crazy and inhumane, but other than that, we don't know why he's set on killing everyone outside the walls. Revenge? Sure. Anger? Yeah. Hatred? Pretty much. But then that leads us why Aron wouldn't just stop the warriors and the scouts.
But plus, Aron just said he won't take their freedom away.
Well, yeah, no fucking shit, but we don't know how true that is until we get his side of everything. So until the last chapter, everything is a mystery, and I really enjoy it. In my opinion, it's the same feeling we all had before the basement reveal. What are the Titans? Is humanity still alive outside the walls? Only this time, Isayama made it so we have every piece of the puzzle except the main character, and I think it's really interesting that Isayama stripped Aron of his screen time, but made him the same importance as before, if not more. It's definitely a very arduous thing to do from a creative and writing standpoint, which is another reason why I appreciate Attack on Titan and the ending so much. Anyways, after this interaction, Isayama leaves the viewers with two options. Aron is doing this to be forcibly stopped, or Aron has truly just become the devil incarnate and intends to drive his freedom gang across the globe. The reason why this didn't seem like a 50-50 is because people got so hyped up in the Chad Aron meme that they couldn't imagine Aron being an actual human anymore. Aron's emotions and sense of humanity seemingly gone. It's understandable as to why everyone thought this way, but still, he's just as human as everyone else in Attack on Titan, and that's where everyone oversighted. We have to remember as a viewer that Aron is still only 19, and he's still really young. Imagine just coming out of high school and your plan is to kill everyone. Like, come on. Move along now in chapter 134. Marleyan troops and civilians are trapped at Fort Salta. One of the commanders steps up to the mic to give one last speech before certain destruction. An immeasurable burden lies upon your shoulders, but whatever the outcome, the responsibility for this is not yours alone. This guilt is shared by every one of us adults. We made use of hatred. Let it grow. We believed it would save us. We took every problem caused by our shortcomings and spat them onto the island of the devils. And the result was the birth of that monster who has now come to repay us for all the hate we've ever shown. If it's possible for us to have a future again, I will never make the same mistakes. I swear it. If we see another tomorrow, I'd like to ask all of you to make the same vow. That you are done with this age of mutual hatred, and that you will usher in a world where we show consideration to one another. That here is where we say goodbye to our monsters. Side note, I just want to say that dialogue actually gave me goosebumps my first read. Like, Isayama, you gotta chill out, dude. That was fucking crazy. And also, just remember this last little bit of dialogue that I just mentioned, because I will be mentioning later on at the end of the video. So, yeah, just try to keep it at the back of your head. This chapter basically just shows the true gravity of the cycle of hatred Marley and the world caused by punishing Eldia and Paradis. They see Aron as a god, coming at them to collect their lives as penance for the mistreatment and abuse of all Eldians, especially those in Paradis. The scene really hits hard, especially when you consider that this is the enemy. They feel so powerless and frightful. Standing on the figurative end of the world with no hope of escaping, they ponder on the mistakes they made as society to birth such a demon into this world. When you oppress and segregate someone or a society for long enough, the tension is bound to explode at some point. Realizing this at the very end, everyone just wants a second chance. A future where humanity can thrive as one, without excuses and scapegoats for shortcomings and heartaches. As the rumbling continues towards Fort Salta, the combined forces of the scouts and the warriors finally catch up for the final meeting with Aron. The next 4 chapters are nothing but pure chaos incarnate, with the best action within Attack on Titan. While it is incredible and goddamn beautiful, nothing really happens within the story until chapter 139. I pray for the staff working at MAPPA. This final stretch to the end is going to take up so much time and resources, but I have faith in them. Like, let's be honest here, it's MAPPA, they don't miss y'all. With all that being said, however, I think it's about time we move on to the end. Chapter 139. I skipped over the Armin and Zeke scene along with the Aron Mikasa moment, but I want to focus specifically on the last chapter here. I can always talk about those scenes in separate videos, as they are some of my favorite scenes within Attack on Titan. Going into chapter 139, there is quite a lot to cover. Literally everything Aron has done in the past 4 years is about to be explained, and it only has 1 chapter to do that, and also shows the aftermath of the rumbling. So it starts out with Armin asking, "Did you push us all away so you could set us up as heroes that saved humanity from destruction?" And Aron says, "That's right." Right here, and moving forward with the rest of the chapter, is where people start to get really pissed off at Aron and Isayama. They were under the impression that Aron just wanted absolute destruction and nothing more. But why? One has Isayama made a character so bland and uninteresting. Aron obviously had an ulterior motive the entire time, we just weren't told up until now. Aron's plan isn't even that bad anyways, if you think about it. Now, on April 9th, when this first dropped, there was another anime that trended alongside Attack on Titan, and that was Code Geass. Spoiler warning ahead if you haven't seen Code Geass, but if you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it. Basically, Attack on Titan had a very similar ending to Code Geass. In Code Geass, the main character Lelouch'S becomes an all-powerful dictator over the world's most oppressive government, Britannia, and then has his friend Suzaku kill him as Lelouch'S masked identity Zero. Through pinning all the world's struggles and sufferings on himself as a ruthless dictator, Lelouch'S death and sacrifice meant that everyone could go back to a normal life with no Britannia, no hate, and peace. Aron did the same thing, but people tried to claim it was different, when in actuality it was the same thing. People are just so caught up in the Chad Aron that they forgot that he's actually still a person who feels for others. He never wanted to kill innocent people and ruin entire countries, but securing a future for his family after his death and securing a potential future for world peace was worth it in his mind. Aron states that the rumbling killed 80% of humanity, and this should be enough to force the world into accepting parity and Eldia and try to work together for a brighter future with no war or racism. Considering how little time Aron had left before his term was over, it makes sense he had to come up with a plan fast and just act on it. Especially since he saw the future from when he touched Historia's hand at the award ceremony, he knew of the destruction and death he would cause to the world, and he wasn't happy about it. He didn't want to do it. But he just knew that he had to keep moving forward. And this is why at the end of Season 3, we immediately saw a drastic change within Aron, and he even pondered himself while looking over the ocean.
Hey, if we did cross the sea, and we killed our enemies, after that, would we finally be free?
He had to continue forward with his plan of genocide, otherwise who else would save Parity and Eldians? Aron was the only one who could. A chance that has only happened once in 2,000 years. Someone without royal blood inheriting the founder, one who couldn't be brainwashed by the king's ideology, and had someone willing to cooperate with royal blood. This is the only chance for Eldia to escape its oppressors and show why they demand freedom from the world. The dialogue continues on, and Aron says that what made Ymir break away from her loyalty to royalty, and that person was Mikasa. And this is why Aron initially won over Ymir back in the past over Zeke. Even though Zeke came from royal blood, Aron understood the pain of wanting to love someone and being with them, but through some outside force or obligation, you couldn't. Ymir wanted to love Fritz, but Fritz used her Titan power to empower Eldia and go to war with the world. To have Ymir's own children eat her body to pass down the powers of the Titans. Aron just wanted a normal life with Mikasa, but given his Titan powers with the Founder, his timer was only 13 years. Then on top of that, after seeing the future at the award ceremony, he knew the dark future he would cause and the fact that he would never get to live a normal, comfortable life with Mikasa. And that pained Aron to no end, knowing that after his death, Mikasa would meet another man, start a family, and not be by his side anymore. These mutual feelings of unsatisfied love between Aron and Ymir is why Aron took over the founder instead of Zeke back in the past. Zeke might have been royalty, but he simply couldn't understand the pain that Ymir was suffering from the past 2,000 years. Aron could. The next major thing that people were tripping over was that Aron controlled Dina to go past Bertolt when they broke into Shiganshina and have Dina eat his mom. Now, it makes sense why he'd have to make Dina go past Bertolt. He needed Bertolt in order to save Armin later on in life when they fed Bertolt to Armin, but I'm not too sure why his mom had to die. My opinion is I guess he had to force himself into truly becoming motivated to kill any enemy that stood before him. Maybe it was so Hannes could safely get Aron and Mikasa out of there without any danger to escape. I don't know. That's really my only reasoning behind having Dina walk over and eat his mom. This is still a major shocker, but like I said, I can kind of understand why Aron made Dina go eat his mom. Now we move to the part that probably gets me the most frustrated with people, and that is Aron's love confession for Mikasa. He breaks into tears admitting he never wants Mikasa to forget about him and wants Mikasa to only have feelings for him. Which makes so much sense. I actually cannot believe this is an argument within the community. Aron is literally about to die, talking to his best friend before he passes on and breaks into tears when he talks about the one girl that's been by his side throughout his entire life. Like, I'm sorry, how is that dumb? I understand most of you bums complaining have never even touched a woman before, but if you ever have, go do it, get into a relationship and love someone, and then you can probably understand why Aron broke into tears. Like, literally. Like, oh my, I don't get it. Is it out of character for Aron? Yes, especially after the last season of him being a complete emotionless killer. It makes sense why the knee-jerk reaction for some to say this makes no sense. Even Armin says, I didn't know you could say something so awkward so blatantly. Yes, it's not like Aron. But again, this is the last time he'll talk to any of his friends, and he's talking to the guy he's been best friends with since day one. Of course he's going to come out and say what's on his mind before he can anymore. Even in the anime, after the table scene where he beats the shit out of Armin and tells Mikasa he hates her, he walks away with literal tears in his eyes. And again, in the anime, at the train scene, he literally refuses to pass on his Titan to anyone within the Scouts because he cares so much about them. He literally said he wants them to all live long, happy lives. He refuses to pass on his Titan. He says it so awkwardly, everyone else is blushing. Like, yeah, Aron can say awkward shit, like it has been shown in the anime, but when people saw this, I guess it just wasn't good enough for them. He's been so frustrated and depressed with his duty at hand, he couldn't afford to get soft and lose track of his plan. Aron even said at the very beginning of the chapter that he got caught up in the moment, trying to be the sole person behind the chaos so the rest of Parody would not be to blame when the rumbling ended, even if it meant tarnishing his relationships until the very end. Aron is a character built on relentless drive and determination to accomplish whatever task is in front of him, whether it be moving a big boulder to cover the gate to Trust, going back to the basement in Shiganshina, or launching an invasion on Liberia. He keeps moving forward, always. And now that he has time to sit down and explain his actions over the last couple years, yeah, it's gonna get emotional. So like, don't get upset that characters have depth and emotion. If you want to see a ruthless, boring-ass villain, go watch some random shitty shonen or something, but I don't know, Isayama don't do that here. One thing that did bother me about this chapter, as did many others, was this panel right here, and oh boy. This one, I won't defend. This was just a bad scene overall. Like, I can see where Isayama was going with this, but it came out the complete opposite way. A YouTuber by the name of Oceanus had his own review on Attack on Titan, and in that video he goes over the ending, which he didn't mind either like me. One thing that got him really bad was this, and I can see why. Isayama was indirectly glorifying genocide through Armin thanking Aron for his actions. I get that they're friends and that shit's cool and all, but when your friend nearly killed you and all your friends, along with killing 80% of humanity, you kinda can't thank them for that. I get Aron made a future for Armin and them, but at the cost of so much loss of life, it's despicable. Oceanus goes more in depth, and I'd highly recommend watching his videos on it, and his channel in general if you like anime. He posts a lot of shows, but mostly a lot of My Hero stuff, so again, check him out, and of course the link to his channel will be in the description below. But back to Armin, this panel is... no. It just doesn't feel right and feels forced almost, especially when you consider how pacifistic Armin is. I can't really see him thanking someone for this. Isayama wanted an emotional scene between Aron and Armin before they parted, which makes sense, but it still could have been handled a lot better. The delivery of the scene was mishandled and just downplays what Aron really did with the rumbling. Imagine in today's world if your best friend killed 6.4 billion people and you thanked him for it. You're either extremely fucked in the head or you're lying to yourself to sound cool. We then leave the past and return to reality. Armin asserts his position as the killer of Eren Yeager, and things progress to years later. Personally, this last little bit was fine. I didn't mind it. It was a nice, little light-hearted ending with the potential for Eldians to become a part of normal global society with some good meme potential with Eren becoming a bird. However, we don't talk about Reina though. Like seriously, Asiyama, what the actual fuck is this? I genuinely thought I was on crack or something when I first read this abomination. Please, never again will we mention this. Isayama was just getting horny or something with this one. So then, that's the ending. Aron wraps Mikasa' scarf around her one last time as a bird, and everything is finally happy for once in Attack on Titan. Through all the trials and tribulations the scouts endured, our cast overcame it all, and in the end, they can maybe save Eldia from the hatred of the world. Maybe they can achieve peace and prosper with the rest of humanity. And then, this is where the bonus panels drop in the final volume, showing that after Mikasa's death, Parody gets bombed to hell by some stealth bombers, and Parody is in ruin. After some time of the Parody destruction, a lone child goes to the Aron Mikasa tree where the founder powers are lying dormant, waiting for another like Ymir to inherit its power and sow more seeds of destruction and chaos. After some time thinking about it, I wouldn't mind this as a standalone ending. But consider the happy-ish ending of the original chapter and then dropping this on top of it, it changes the final message of the series entirely. It went from a potential happy future through ultimate destruction and chaos, resetting humanity entirely through Aron's actions, to an ending that shows war and hatred is inevitable, along with the cycle of racism, hatred, and oppression. It just feels weird still, and it's been 4 months for me to think about it. I just don't understand why Isayama would change the ending so drastically. I get that it was getting hate and he wanted to add more so people would maybe be happier at the ending, but in my opinion, this ruined the last core message of the series. Aron was meant to be the final devil of the world, the one to finally change everything and everyone into realizing the current cycle was terrible and not sustainable. Remember back when I was talking in chapter 134 and the Marlane commander was talking to everyone, saying if they had a second chance at life, this hatred wouldn't continue? It made sense. The world cannot afford to have another Eren Yeager. It is too much loss of life and destruction, and there are good Eldians just like there are bad Marlanes. But apparently that whole realization meant nothing, and the world decided to bomb Parody back into the Stone Age without thinking, hey, this maybe could potentially backfire on us. Like, I don't know. The original ending made sense to me with the conversation Aron and Armin had, along with the story progression up until that point. And then once I saw those extra panel drops a couple weeks after the original ending, it left a sour taste in my mouth, and it still kinda does. I love Attack on Titan, and it forever will be probably one of my favorite series. Isayama created a world so intriguing and cruel, a group of characters so hateable and yet so lovable, villains that weren't really villains, and heroes who weren't so great. When this finally gets animated in the winter of 2022, and anime only see it, the discussion will explode all over the place again like wildfire, and I'm interested to see what their thoughts are on it. I know Mappa will do an amazing job on it, and I can't wait to see what they produce. The visual key they gave us for Aron in the past gave me a boner alone, so I really cannot wait to see the rest of it. When the discussions get fired back up again, I'll probably be defending the ending on Twitter or something to try to make people understand how I feel about it and how it isn't as terrible as people think it is. Overall though, I'd give the ending of Attack on Titan like a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8. Had awkward moments with the Armin thanking Aron for genocide and Reina horning over Historia, But like I said in the beginning, it did its job and it did good at it. As for everyone that watched this entire video, thank you. I know hearing the 8 millionth guy talk about Attack on Titan's ending can get tiring, but I hope I shed some light on why it's not detrimental that everyone thinks it is. The anime and manga community can be extremely toxic at times, and this is overhated way more than it should have been. As for Attack on Titan as a series, I'm happy I got to experience it. It is such a fantastic series that really helped influence Westerners into giving anime a try, and definitely helped me embrace my inner weeb when I first watched it. From the warrior reveal, to the return to Shiganshina, the Liberia invasion, so many more iconic moments within Attack on Titan anime in general, really is cemented as one of the greatest series in the medium. Hajime Isayama, thank you for your hard work and dedication to the craft. From getting told you could never get published from your early art, to creating an international phenomenon, you persisted into telling the world the story you wanted to share. Your art has significantly improved over the years, and it shows you really want to deliver the best possible product every month over the last decade. Whatever project you decide on next, we'll all be here to support it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.